We're going to continue Breshit Tet, 9th chapter, 2nd verse. We're on page 70 on the right-hand column. Umora Achem, and you'll notice that this has 2 notes on it.
Yep.
But here it does not. I'm wondering if that is in fact a typo.
What should it be?
Just the mapach under the chaf, not the pashta over the resh. Yeah, and he doesn't make any comments about it being a doubled note.
Yeah.
So I think that is truly a typo. There should not be anything on top of the resh. There is a makaf under the resh because that syllable does in fact get some of the accenting when you read the word, but it doesn't make any other implications as far as interpretation of the word. So remember that mapach takes a previous situation and focuses it into what's going to go ahead from here. Umora achem, and your fear. Instead of fear of being attacked by the beast, the opposite will be true, and your fear will be imposed upon them, as indicated by the shape of the reading mark. So the fear is going to be from you going forward towards the animal, v'chitchem, and your dread. Sorry, we have a note. Like the previous sentence, this one also suggests an answer to further problems of Noach and his son. They express fears of building and developing because of dangers from the prevalent animal world, which had returned to normal habits of wildlife, finding an acute shortage of food. So the parish continues to tell us that Noach has fears that need to be allayed, and each sentence that we're hearing is in fact an answer to a question that Noach might have answered. Well, how are we going to survive with all those animals that we've just let out of the ark and have again lost their tame nature that was imposed upon them in the ark and are now that hungry lion and tiger and bear who doesn't have that much to eat. V'chitchem, and your dread, they will all refrain from approaching you to cause any harm, and your dread will be extended over them even at a distance, as shown by the directional shape of the reading mark. So, pashta is something that poshet spreads out. Your dread is going to spread out from you, and the animals will keep a respectful distance from you. Yihiyeh, with a katon. So this has that double nature to it. Will be. The element of fear will be an effective deterrent to preserve your safety and tranquility, as pointed out by the bipartite shape of the reading mark. So this is both going to be something that's going to keep you safe, and it's also going to be something that keeps the animals away from you. So because of that double meaning that's there, we have the double shaped note, a katon.
Is that a reference as well to the pre-Mabul state of animal relations with humans?
So pre-Mabul, people did not have the right to eat animals.
Right.
But animals certainly had their own nature about themselves.
Right. I was referring more to pre-Mabul. There were physical relations between animal and man, and I think perhaps it's also saying it with the katon that will not, will fit into that.
So certainly the state from here going forward will be different from the state before.
Perhaps the classic was with the Nachash and Chava.
And possibly Noach and the Orei. Yes.
Right.
Over. With a mapach, again scooping stuff from before and leading forward into and focusing forward into what's going to go after it. All over. The potent apprehension will prevail over their natural instincts and preserve your peace of mind as stressed by the shape of the reading mark. So even though a tiger is a natural born killer, it will have some fear of man and will not do what tigers are wont to do, and that will lead you to have some safety. Kol chayat, each beast of, with a zakef, with a munach, so this is going to separate itself out from before and move forward. It will not be limited to a single district or a particular kind of species, but it will universally affect each beast of potential danger, as denoted by the shape of the reading mark. So, from here on in, the animals are going to be different all over. Haaretz, the earth, with a katon. So again, we have this double meaning to this word because it's got the double-shaped word. The principle will prevail at each location of the earth by a standard intensity as suggested by the bipartite shape of the reading mark. That the way that it is in one place so each location will have its own standard. Well, no, that's not what he's saying. At a standard intensity, that it's going to be the same everywhere, and yet he's saying that it has a bipartite shape.
Yes, I'm not so sure what I get. Perhaps the actuality.
Maybe us and them. Two separate camps.
Fair enough. The way that man is and the way that animals are will be separate in every location. There'll be a standard separation between them. And actualia, in fact, the effect of this promise can be seen today. A little boy is capable of driving an elephant, a horse, a mule, a cow, etc. Moreover, when the animal is beaten by him, it doesn't hit back. Similarly, wild animals avoid man unless they are in numbers or desperate from starvation. So he's saying that this rule stands, and both for animals that are domesticated and animals that are wild. And maybe that might also be part of the double shape, is that we've got domestic animals and wild animals, and they have different levels of their interaction with people. Number 7. Ve'al tipcha. So this is going to reference back to the stuff that's gone before it, and then pause slightly after it. And over, number 7, timidity before man was imposed upon all species of the world, and over swiftly moving species, which have an advantage over man, as referred backwards by the directional shape of the reading mark. So this is even going to apply that to those animals who have a variety of natural advantages over man. They're not going to press their advantage despite the fact that they could. It's going to reference back to those animals that are wild and to the fact that man's fear is still going to go over those ones as well. Kol off with a munach, so it's going to separate itself out from before and lead to a new reality. Each bird, number 8. So each bird will avoid close contact with man regardless of its size, strength, and number as expressed by the shape of the reading mark.
Unless they're the rubber does.
Which is why I'm thinking Haaretz, the earth, has a katon over it, because in different places there's going to be a rule for that place. But we can press that point later. Nonetheless, the birds are going to avoid close contact with man, which we're saying is different from what was before. And Victor and I referenced the midrash that says that Noach had to literally expel the orev, the raven, from the ark, perhaps because there were sexual relations with the raven going on, interspecies relations, or the threat of that. So kol off, the birds are going to be completely different from the way they were before. It's going to be a new start, there is going to be this munach that says the way that it was before is not the way that it's going to go on from here on in. So we have the Midrash referencing that with the snake and Chava, and the Midrash referencing that with the Orev and Noach and his wife. Hashamayim, of the skies, with a stabilizing Etnachta. Number 9, although the domain of its operation at the height of the skies and inaccessible to man, these animals continue to be in fear of him, as specified by the stabilizing shape of the reading mark. So even though the birds have a natural distance from man, when they do have to come close, they will maintain their difference if need be. And we have a note here. There are 3 exceptions to this rule, which the Gemara calls the 3 courageous. So Rav Shimon says in Beitz of 25, side 2 of the page, a rooster among birds. So these are things that don't seem to follow the fact of having the proper distance from others. So roosters are naturally aggressive and will go after other things, and will in fact go after people as well. Israel amongst the nations, and the dog among animals. The Midrash calls them impertinent, chatzufim, but adds that this is not a negative characteristic, v'zelo davar meguneh, that sometimes that aggression is called for. The rooster makes a big noise and exerts feelings of might when running after a chicken, despite its own minimal strength and significance. Israel, the Jewish people, dares to undertake activities that are beyond its proportionate strength and number. So too, a dog dares attack not only people, cows, horses, etc., but even wild animals of the bush, like wolves or some of the great cats. Characteristics that seem to defy the natural order of things being afraid of other things that are bigger and stronger than them are generally the rule, but there are exceptions, and the exceptions are not bad and not unnatural. The exceptions are planned and are part of the order. Remark, in Jewish folklore there is a saying that a wolf runs away at the sight of the dog, not due to fear, but because he detests the repulsive barking of the dog.
Yeah, I don't fear my kids, I just can't.
We'll continue on. Bechol, with a tlishak tana. Tlishak tana, as we'll remember, is a joining note. So this is not something that makes that word stand apart. It in fact joins it to the word that's going to come after it. Tlishak tana always comes at the end of a word, and again, it's despite the fact that it's on top, it's a joining note, not a separating note. On most, the same fear of man will be exerted on most minor species, but not on all, like flies, bees, mosquitoes, poultry, etc., is illustrated by the shape or placement of the reading note. So because this always comes at the end, these things are going to stay close to other things that they were supposed to stay away from. So that's why most of the animals are going to have that fear, but not all of them. Asher, pashta. This is going to make this word stand out a little bit and reach towards what comes after it. The fact is that the aroma, the color, the light, etc. will attract them as conveyed by the directional shape of the reading mark. So they're going to proliferate, they're going to spread out, they're going to try to reach to other things. Tirmos, with a darga. This is going to make this word stand out and connect to the word after it. Those minor creatures will be practically disregarded. They will creep and cause only minor annoyance, as demonstrated by the shape of the reading mark. So their creeping is going to lead to ha'adama, the ground, with a stabilizing tavir, so the gra and tavir form a phrase together. Their actual activity will be limited to the ground, where they will make useful contributions, as depicted by the shape of the reading mark. So insects and crawling things and so on will be part of what makes the ground fertile and makes the ground aerated and so on. So despite the fact that they're a nuisance, they will have a useful function to them, and that is why they get there's some stability in them. That's why they have the sheltering tavir. Uvechol digay, with a mercha, and on all fish of. So this is going to be slightly connected to what's gone before. So we know that we've got this concept of animals having fear, but animals sometimes not expressing that fear, and it's going to lead forward into what's going to go after it. Fear of man will exist even in the waters, and on all fish of various descriptions and localities, as signified by the directional shape of the reading mark. So fear is going to spread to the fish who are in the sea, hayam, tipcha. So this is going to finish that phrase, and it's going to have a slight pause after it. Although the sea will be their dominion, and the water serves as their protective shield and natural environment, they will never leave their boundaries in order to attack man, as emphasized by the closing shape of the directional reading mark. So they will be bound by the sea, and that will have a pause after it. That's where the fish stay. Biyedchem, on your hands, not in your hands, but on your hands. With a mercha, this is going to lead forward into what's going to go on, but to be slightly connected to what was there before. On the contrary, they are rendered on your hands and shall serve as food for you and alleviate your starvation. It's portrayed by the shape of the reading mark. So again, we see that Noach and his family are worried about how they're going to survive from here on in. And we're told they're going to be given fish. They're going to be given dominion and fear over the animals, so they will be able to survive despite the harshness and the lack of other people in the world that they're going to repopulate.
What you emphasize, as it is here, is on your hands as opposed to in your hands.
Right. So be normally means in.
Right.
And he's translated as on.
Why?
Um,
On your hands.
So what he's trying to imply is stewardship, not ownership. That you have the ability to control them, but they are not in fact yours. So I think that's why we get an on, not in. They were given, nitanu, sof pasuk. They were given for you as sustenance, representing a source of nutrition. So quite obviously this has stability to it, and that's why it gets a sof pasuk. Remark, the second part of the sentence echoes a heavenly response to Noah's problem. How will we get food when there could not be any harvest yet? Fish and all suitable creepers of the ground, cattle, poultry, etc., were then allowed as food due to the fact that they owed their life to Noach, while fish were added as food even though they were not in the ark. So the stewardship and the fear, because that will be a universal characteristic, allows man to harvest even things that man didn't himself protect. You got a question?
Yeah, just b'chol, number 10. B'chol asher tzimos, on most of a creek, and b'chol degayam, on all fish. So the appears using the same word and translating them differently. And functionally within the same phrase or within the same half sentence. I'm wondering if you noticed a pattern or purpose.
And not only that, kol chayat, each beast. Number 5.
5. That's where I thought you were looking
I think the phrasing is to fit into the English translation that he's got there, and he realizes that each of these words does have implications of either plurality or totality in both of them. So the word is a little ambiguous, and he's exploiting the ambiguity based on the standing of the phrase itself.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, we'll read the pasuk. Umorachem v'chitchem yiyeh al kol chayat haaretz ve'al kol och hashamayim v'chol asher tirmos ha'adama v'chol digei hayam b'yadchem nitanu. So I'm just going to go back to number 4. Number 4 is in fact looks like a mapach, but this is another note. Goes by the name of yativ. It looks like a mapach, but it has a different placement. Mapach is put under the accented syllable. Yativ always comes at the beginning of the word, and in fact, if you'll notice that normally when we see a mapach like umora achem, you notice that the mapach is after the vowel that's under the kaf. Yativ always goes right at the very beginning. It goes before the actual vowel that's under the word. So it draws you back to the beginning. So let's just go over number 4 again. The potent apprehension will prevail over their natural instincts and preserve your peace of mind is stressed by the shape of the reading mark. So there's a shape and a positioning to this note. And it draws you back to the beginning and says you've got to look backwards and backwards from this, and it's going to focus you forward, but you have to really go back. So it's referencing it's referencing you farther back, if you will, by the fact that it's a yativ, not a mapach. So I'm sorry I didn't point that out while we did the translation. But you'll also notice that despite the fact that it looks like a mapach, it is intoned. It's sung like a pashtat. So it makes itself stand out and reach forward, despite the fact that it's gathering, because it's gathering from so far back that it can stand out in the fact that it's gathering. So listen to Umar Achem with a mapach, and listen to Al. So listen to V'chitchem with pashtat as well. Umorachem v'chitchem al. So the al has almost the same sound as v'chitchem al. So let's just do chem al. So if it was a short word, you would notice it would be same as a pashta, not the same as a mapach. Umorachem v'chitchem yiyeh al. Kol chayat haaretz. So it has elements of both notes because of the way that it is going to reach back so absolutely that it makes it stand out. So that's why yativ has elements of both ma'apach and pashta built into it. It has that special location and that special place in the word even before the vowel. I think maybe we're going to stop here.
Okay.
Thank you. Shkoyach.